I haven't actually looked on WikiFeet to see if I'm on there, but I'm pretty sure I am. Because I'm on Reddit.
Oh, WikiFeet.
And people talking about my armpits on Reddit. So there must be somebody talking about my feet somewhere.
I feel like everyone has a foot page.
Do you have a foot page?
I don't know. I don't want to know.
I think sometimes ignorance is bliss, but I actually do want to know if I'm on WikiFeet.
I think after this.
I actually will do. Yeah. I think that's what the first thing I'm going to look at later today.
Yeah.
Hi, I've just met you and I started talking about my feet. Like, great. What is my life? I welcome to my studio. I'm an oversharer. Welcome back to another episode of Girls Know Nothing. Today's guest is a British travel and lifestyle content creator who followed in her sister's footsteps, accumulating over 64,000 followers on Instagram and over 560,000 likes on TikTok. Bronte King has partnered with brands including Volvic, Vinted, Shreddy and National Rail, and is also the founder of Gals Who Graduate. Gals Who Graduate is an online network of female students and graduates, and the brand held its first live event in collaboration with GradFuel in 2022 and has since hosted trips for Gals Who Graduate in Bali. So welcome to the studio, Bronte. I feel like you are like an OG content creator. Maybe that's just in my head because I've like back in the day, I've always remembered Gals Who Graduate for like, I think 8 years. How old is it now?
Well, it's 4 years old.
Okay.
It could be 8 years. If you want it to be 8 years, it's 8 years.
Maybe I'm just losing track of time.
It does feel like 8 years. I started it the day I left university.
Okay.
So that was 4 years ago, which it actually makes me feel so old. Like the fact that I finished university 4 years ago. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd finish university, let alone 4 years later. So I literally started it. I was literally lugging my bags up my family's like staircase, moving back home. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I was like, I do not want adult life. I just loved uni so much. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no job. I had no money. I had no student loan. And I was like, I don't know what to do.
Oh my God. Okay. So what did you study at uni?
Film and television.
But you didn't decide to try and find a film and television job for after?
I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know where to start. I feel like there actually was no help at uni. I honestly was like, what do I even do? I probably need to go and apply for jobs, but I don't know how. I don't know what's best to do. I need to get my CV looking nice. I just honestly was just a bit like, and I think when you finish uni, it's a bit of like shell shock. It's a bit like, I've done all of that work, my dissertation, everything. Yeah. I've had the best time. You've like celebrate with your friends after. And then it's kind of just like, silence. It's just like,
yeah, they kind of just like wave you off.
Yeah. And it's like you had to learn to like cook, clean, live by yourself, like get pushed out into this life, and then you suddenly pop back out the other end and you're living back with your family. You don't have a job. You're back where you started. I can imagine it's quite, because I didn't do the traditional route. So I can imagine that like when you go back home, you feel like all the freedom that you've learned to have. And your mum's like,
from you.
Well, what time are you having dinner? What do you want for dinner? And I'm like, that's so kind of you, but I just don't know. Going out with the girls. I don't know what time I'll be back. Don't know if I want dinner.
So was that the main motivation for starting?
Yeah. And also I think I just like looked at my friends that had already finished uni and they were just like post-university depression is like it's real. Like it's crazy how like low people drop after university because of the high of it. And like, they're like living with your best friends, like having a purpose, having a meaning, like you're there to learn, you're there to study and get a degree. And then suddenly you just are meant to go and find a job and just get on with it and find money and live in London, get a job in London. And that's kind of like the thing to do. But how are you meant to do that when you leave uni if there's no support, there's nothing to guide you that way? And yeah, it's crazy. Honestly, when I was talking to my friends, they were like, I had such a low that year after uni. I was like, why is no one talking about this? I find it really bizarre that you said that you don't get any help and support to find a job. Yeah, I personally didn't. I just felt like, yeah, there's LinkedIn, you can go and find jobs online. You can type in like, there's graduate recruitment companies, all of that. But I would go to careers fairs and I'd walk away with like a pen and I'd be like, I don't even know what I want to do. It'd scare me even more. I'd be like, just, you talk to people, they'd be like, oh, come and do our apprenticeship. You're like, it feels like there is a lot of support out there, but there's not the right support. It doesn't feel like there's accessible support. Like, it doesn't feel like there's very like Gen Z support. That's what I felt. It just didn't feel very accessible.
So how come you decided to kind of make a niche in girls that graduate instead of just anyone that graduates?
I feel like so I had a following on Instagram when I was at uni, but not much. I think it was like 10K. And I wanted to always build it into something that could help people, but I never knew what. I never knew what I wanted to do with it. And I think it was a high percentage of it was a high percentage of female following. I think it was like 85% or something like that. And I was like, do you know what? I connect with girls so well. Like I get on with all the girls that I meet from Instagram so well. And I think I was on the phone to my sister. I was like, I want to start a support network for girls that have just graduated who are just feeling the same as I am, but I don't know what to do. And then we were like running through names and I was like, you know what? Let's do Gals Who Graduate. And it started as like a closed Facebook group. And I think just having like girls supporting girls, there's nothing more powerful than that. Like all of us coming together and being like, yeah, I feel shit. I don't have a job. I don't want to live back at home. All my friends are now living in their like hometowns all over the country. And yeah, it just felt like it was like a really powerful like form of a support network.
I think sometimes you feel better about the situation you're in or how you feel if you know that you're not the only person that's going
100%.
through it.
Yeah.
And I can imagine like Facebook groups were, I rarely use Facebook and I go into Facebook for Facebook groups.
Same, yeah. But I only use it for that.
I know that you like started transitioning from Facebook to Instagram and then now it's more like an open forum for resources. Like how did that transition happen?
I think I started, the Facebook group was the first thing, and I always was reluctant to start an Instagram page because I wanted it to be like a close, like a group chat that you had to like be accepted into, enter, like we had to check you were a girl that's graduated and like you're there to like talk about the right things. So I think putting it on like an open Instagram page, felt a bit like vulnerable, and it felt a bit like, oh, do we really want to like put the information that we can talk about on the closed Facebook group on Instagram? But then like using resources like stuff like how to find a job, like how to rent in London, all of that was good to put out there for like for it to be shareable, for girls to access it easily. And also we started events for girls like to make friends and like to feel like they weren't alone, and we shared those on Instagram. So I think it just was like a natural transition.
So what was it like to host the first Gals Who Graduate event?
It was amazing. It was crazy because I'd only ever seen like hosting events from like a creative point of view. I'd never seen like anyone and everyone can turn up to an event. So I made it like a creator event. There were goodie bags, there was like free food, there was like neon signs, there was so much going on at the event that it felt like you were at like an influencer event. And I loved it. I love the idea of putting on events. Like I love I'm like such, when my friends come around for dinner, I'm like hostess with the mostess. I'll lay out like a whole spread. They'll get like personalized glasses and everything. So I was like so ready for it. I was so ready for the event. And it was amazing. It was 75 girls. It was sponsored by Superdrug, and it was honestly just so lovely to meet the people that I've been like connecting with on the Facebook group in person.
I think as well, if you've made the effort to go to an event, you know you're going to be in a room with like-minded people who've also made the effort to go, even if you go to an event on your own.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we get so many girls. Like now we have Girls Who Travel, where girls go on these trips to the other side of the world alone. And that's progressed from a group of 75 girls in a room together, coming alone, to now traveling to the other side of the world together.
Because Gals Who Graduate is not the only like group in the franchise.
No.
It's like you have because the girls in the other room were like, oh my God, I know Bronte from this or from this. And like you've got so many different avenues. So how did they all come about?
I think that like the different subgroups have grown with the community. So when the girls have been like, it's kind of Girls Who Graduate has like evolved as my life has evolved. So when I started renting in London, when I moved from home to London, I started Gals Who Rent, and we talked all about like the renting market, like what you should be saying to landlords, what you should be saying to estate agents, and like guiding girls through that. Also finding housemates, like girls, when you move to London, it's like, who do I live with? I want to live with people that are safe, that are like-minded. Yeah. And it's like all my friends from school now live with girls from Girls Who Rent. Like that's how they found their housemates. It's so lovely. Or like that's the most thing someone will come up to me and say, I met my housemates through Girls Who Rent. So I think it's a really powerful subgroup, that one. And then we have Gals Who Travel, which evolved as well with my life. I started traveling, started posting my travels. So I wanted to start a travel page. Gals Who Date, when I was dating, I went through a breakup and I started Gals Who Date, and I spoke about all my breakup on there. I literally have like a breakup Bible on there of when I was going through my breakup, just like typing out everything. Gals Who Sweat, which is like workouts. We do workout classes in London. We host events with them. And then Gals Who Read, and that's like a book club, and girls, they talk all about what they're reading and their favourite reads.
So why was it important for you to have all of these like subgroups? I
think it's like finding a space for girls to feel like welcome and like they have a purpose and like a reason for them to, it's like, I don't know, all your friends, you have the same thing in common. And if you don't have friends that have the same thing in common, you can literally go online and be like, I love reading. I'm going to go on there. There's 300,000 girls that love reading on that. I'm going to find a new friend. And it's a sense of like, a sense of purpose and meaning and like connecting with like-minded girls.
I think it's actually really nice because obviously, for example, like traveling, not everyone can do it because everyone has different personal circumstances. And I feel like a lot of the time I'm not doing things that I want to do because I don't have someone to do them with.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's really nice to be able to go and find, because this is scary world out there. And there are a lot of weirdos.
Yeah. Oh, one of the main reasons I've done it is for like safety with female traveling, because it's so scary getting on a plane by yourself to the other side of the world, entering a country you've never been to. Even trying to find a taxi at the airport is scary when you land, let alone like having to like travel a whole country by yourself. So I like love the fact that girls know they're getting on a flight. That it is a form of solo traveling, so it's a massive thing that they're doing. It's still so brave to get on that flight and travel with 25 girls that you've never met.
Yeah.
For 10 days.
Because you took girls to Bali recently.
Yes.
So what was that like?
So that was our 9th Bali trip, which is crazy.
Oh my God.
I know. And every time I'm on them, I'm like, how is this? I know I see them, like they tag us and we have group chats, so I see it all on there. But when I'm actually there, I'm like, these girls are here because of Girls Who Travel. It's just crazy. And I see the bond from like the beginning when they're strangers and they've all just got off a flight. They've literally in the middle of nowhere, never been to the country, on a different time zone. And they're like trying to meet everyone jet lagged, to like the end where they're like, I've made a best friend for life, like crying because they're saying goodbye. And it's just like that bond that you make when you're traveling with someone is so different. Like you'll never have that bond with anyone else. And it's just so special to see, honestly.
It must be really nice for you to know that you've had like an impact like that on somebody's life.
It's crazy. Honestly, it's mad. And then I went from Bali, flew over to the Philippines, and we launched our Philippines trip out there, which is amazing.
So how did you transition from all of these like online groups to now being able to do those in-person experiences?
I think I like put the feelers out there. I always ask on the community, like on Facebook, on Instagram, like what they want from the community. So if they want to travel, if they want, like I say, where do you want to go next? And like they'll look at the main responses and make it happen. Like the girls were like, we want to do a Bali trip. And they've said that since I first ever started Girls Who Graduate. And then 4 years later, we now have them running monthly where they can book on. So I think listening to the community and listening to what they want and like catering to what they want is like the only way you can go.
Is that how like things like Girls Who Sweat started?
Yeah. So we started, I did Couch to 5K on Girls Who Graduate Instagram stories during lockdown. Because I was like, honestly, what are we going to do with this time? So I just started running like everyone else.
Yeah,
and
banana bread and running.
Banana bread and running. My dad was like, no, you did 5K to Couch. Like literally, I was a runner and then I decided I was just going to sit on the sofa all day. But I did that. And I think we did live workouts on the Girls Who Graduate Instagram page like everyone else did. And I just really enjoyed it. And I was like, let's start Girls Who Sweat. And then everyone that doesn't want to listen to it all the time on Girls Who Graduate can come over to Girls Who Sweat and just do that. So we did a 50 girls spin cycle class a couple of months ago. And that was so fun. Like the energy in the room of 50 girls on a bike, it was great. Honestly, everyone was just sweating, laughing. Like it was so fun. So good.
I think it's nice to go to a different type of event because you always think, oh, I have to put makeup on.
Yeah.
I have to be like really glamorous and take your Instagram pictures and stuff. And sometimes it's nice to just be.
And you're in a dark room, so no one's looking at you. It's like flashing lights. It's in Cycle, the spin studio.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just great energy. We all left like, wow. And it was like a Wednesday evening. You felt like, also I feel like sometimes with classes, like workout classes, you're like, I don't really want to go. Like it's a bit intimidating. Like I don't feel like I'll know what I'm doing. But coming to like a Girls Who Sweat class, no one knows what they're doing. So you're all in the same boat.
I think gym spaces can sometimes feel quite intimidating, especially like the male-dominated gyms.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not comfortable.
The weight section. Even now walking in there, I'm like, and I know what I'm doing with the weight, but I still look at men and I'm like, there's so much testosterone in there. Honestly.
Mine smells like Lynx Africa.
Oh.
So that's the only thing that puts me off. Oh. Like the smell of Lynx Africa. You wouldn't get that in a Girls Who Sweat session.
Absolutely not. No.
Maybe like Charlie or what's that? Yeah. What's the girls' version?
So fragrant.
Yeah. It's like a massive throwback. But you started off as a lifestyle and travel influencer.
Yes.
Because your sister was an influencer. So is that kind of like what pursued you and started making content?
Kind of. I was like her behind the scenes. Like I said to Instagram, kind of, there was this Instagram, like app. Everyone was talking about it. And I was like, Chess, I think you should start. She was a presenter. I was like, I think you should start posting or presenting on this app called Instagram. And she did, and it took off. And I loved seeing the behind the scenes of that. I'd always be like, right, Chess, let's shoot this. And I'd like really get involved with what she was doing. And I loved watching her like just grow and grow and grow. And I remember she got to like 50K and that was unheard of. And we were like, oh my God, let me throw a massive party for her. And I think I just loved the whole behind the scenes of it. I never thought I would be actually in front of the camera. Like I did internships and work experience during university at PR companies and like talent agencies, because I just loved that whole like what actually goes into it behind the camera. And then I think we do so much together, and she's literally my best friend, that she was posting me all the time. So then people were coming over to my page, and it just kind of evolved from there.
I wish my brother listens and then like gets as excited about helping me do stuff as like you did about your sister, because my brother's like, oh really?
Don't worry. Sometimes I have to pass the phone to my brother and he's like,
yeah, okay, they just don't, and it's all blurry.
Yeah.
Half the time he's using the wrong camera.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was literally like, I think I bought a camera so I could take photos of my sister for her campaigns. I was so excited.
Need more supportive siblings like that.
So funny. Yeah, she was great.
Do you prefer doing the behind the scenes stuff or actually like making the content yourself? Because they're two very different.
Very different. I really enjoy both of it. And I think Girls Who Travel and Girls Who Graduate gives me that chance to do the behind the scenes, because I create all the content for Girls Who Travel. I like now do part of Girls Who Graduate content and like oversee it all. But I just love creating all of that and like creating stories behind all the reels, like creating all the content when I'm on the trips. And so I love that I now get that chance to do both sides of things.
I was going to say, how do you manage your time?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because Girls Who Graduate has got like a lot of like content every day. So I was thinking, oh my God.
I have a social media manager for Girls Who Graduate. Well, I had a piece of advice from Grace, who is Stephen Bartlett's social media manager. And she was so supportive of Girls Who Graduate. She's always been like there on the sidelines supporting. And she said to me, Bronte, I'm going to give you one piece of advice. Please hire someone. Please just hire someone to do something that you look at and think, oh God, I've got to do this. Because it was just me running the whole of Gals Who. That was about 2 years ago. And I did, and it honestly has changed everything. Like Gals Who Graduate Instagram, I look at and I'm like, wow, look at that. And I don't know, I pay someone to do it. It's great. Because I was just running out of like, your brain can only like have that much space in. And to be able to do Gals Who Travel, my campaigns, TikTok, Gals Who Graduate, Gals Who Date, Gals Who Set, all of that. So it was the best move, hiring someone and getting someone in for that.
How do you manage your time though, when you have all of these like competing priorities?
I sit down like every morning or every evening and I write myself a big to-do list, and I'm such a Virgo. I love ticking it off. I even put like wake up and tick.
I have an app for that.
Really?
Yeah, and I like time block every single thing.
Okay.
I'll show you
maybe I'm not that. Maybe I'm not that.
I time block everything.
Oh my God.
Like walking the dog, shower.
Wow.
And I tick it
I
off.
just put it on notes page and I'm like, okay, yeah, bullet point tick.
I really like the self-satisfaction, like the instant gratification of ticking stuff off.
Yeah. I mean, I've also like now got a few more girls on freelance to help me out with stuff on Gals Who, which has really helped. And being able to just know, even though it's like my like baby and I'm like, I don't want to give it over to anyone, know that actually it's just going to benefit it. And like you can oversee everything. You don't have to just let it go and everyone else do it. But just, telling myself that I can give other responsibilities out to other people, not just take it all on myself.
But how do you know when you're ready to do that? Or like, how do you get yourself ready to do that?
I think when you're just like, it's just too much. I was just looking at everything and I was like, I'm going to have to sacrifice something because there's just too much going on. And also like, if you have too many things on the go and you're doing it, then they're not all going to be very good because you're giving too much, like not enough time to each one.
Yeah.
So like my main focus for the past year has been Girls Who Travel and just growing that and just getting it to the point where all these trips can happen without me having to be on them and without having to advertise them the whole time. It can just scale up and run itself.
So what strategies do you use to be able to grow yourself and the Gals Who brand on socials?
I think making sure that it sticks to its core value of the community and not losing that, not trying to sell the community stuff the whole time and be like, guys, you should book on this, you should buy this, you should swipe up, all of this. Just like hosting events where we host events, we're now trying to do them monthly in London or around the UK where we don't make anything. We actually like lose money on it. But like having that as like the core value of why I started Girls Who Graduate and knowing that we're keeping that community going where girls can still enjoy Girls Who Graduate without having to pay to be part of it or having to pay to go on a trip or I don't know, just not trying to oversell it and push it too much for people to have to spend money on and just have it as its core value of a community.
Because I think sometimes it's really hard when I've noticed it, people say about certain like content creators when everything is an ad.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you keep your authenticity?
Yeah. Oh, keeping the authenticity with Girls Who Graduate, especially. Like, I know the Girls Who Graduate community so well that I'm so cautious of what brands, what companies, what anyone that we partner with. I'm really like, by the way, we can't say this, we can't do this. Oh, I don't want to sell them that, and I don't want to do that, because I know that the Girls Who Graduate community respond well to this and respond well to that. And I'm really careful of like what values each company have and what morals everyone has when they're coming in to work with Girls Who Graduate.
So what advice would you give to any aspiring female content creators that are trying to like either find a way to get started or find a way to grow?
I think you need to find what your like passion is, because like my passion was supporting girls going through that time of life, and it still is, and it's translated into Girls Who Travel and Girls Who Date and Girls Who Sweat and all of that, and go from that. And don't try and do something that anyone else is doing. Like, you don't think, oh, actually, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example where you see something online and you think, I'd love to do that. But you need to create your own identity, your own reason, your own passion, your own like motivation behind all of the content that you're creating. Otherwise you'll do it for like a month and then be like, don't know what else to do. Haven't got anything left to show.
Did you ever want to like just give up? Were there like periods you're like, oh,
Girls Who Graduate, yeah, definitely. There's been times where I've been like, right, you know what? I think I've reached my expiry date as a graduate. I'm 4 years out.
Nah, never.
Never. I'm still talking about like going to uni and like freshers. And I love it because it was such a big part of my life. But I think just like when I've been like, oh, I'm not sure like I can talk about it anymore. I'm not sure I'm relatable with that anymore. I like find ways to change it up, like starting Girls Who Travel, Girls Who Date, Girls Who Sweat. Like all these subgroups have evolved as I've evolved. And that's what's kept me going with wanting to like keep the community going.
What do you think is your biggest achievement since you started Girls Who?
I honestly think having that first Girls Who Travel trip, we had 120 girls in Bali at the same time.
That was a hell of a lot of responsibility.
I know. They were all on 4 different trips, so they weren't all in one trip. Oh my God, no. Imagine like going around the temples, like, come on everyone, 120 girls. No, it was 4 different trips, and I was hopping on there were 3 days apart, and I was going from each one and I was just like, how are all these girls here because of, like, these girls have got on a plane, booked a flight, got on a plane to the other side of the world with strangers, and are all sitting the other side of the world in Bali because of Girls Who. And I still can't get my head around it, but I was just like, for me, that was like a massive achievement and something that I'd wanted to do since I started the community. It was just amazing.
What do you think could be like, what are the next like big milestones you want Girls Who to achieve?
So we've got our second female diversity careers fair, and I love that. I love, like, so for me, one of the reasons why I started it was because when I went to a careers fair, all I left with was a pen and like the idea of, I didn't even know what I wanted to do more than when I stepped in. So I wanted to create a space for girls to like be so passionate about, go to a careers fair and leave being like, oh my God, I met this person, I really want to do this. Or that was so cool, I've now found this new job that I didn't even know existed and I want to do this. I want girls to like feel so motivated about their career path and be like, this is what I want to do. Loved this, felt so motivated and felt so welcomed and relaxed there, rather than go in and be like, I've got to talk to this person, probably need to sign this form, probably need to sign up to that, and then go back and tell my parents that I've done that, just like tick it off. I want them to go back and go, oh my God, I just had this amazing experience, I feel so passionate. And I wanted to be an accessible way of girls finding jobs that they love and like career paths that they didn't even know existed.
I remember when I was younger and I was starting out in my career, and I wish that I'd kind of just put myself out in the comfort zone. Like, networking sounds awful.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not comfortable and confident. But it's bad to say, but a lot of the time when you get opportunities, it's because you know someone, or someone's like, oh, I know somebody who'd be really good for that, and like put you forward for it. And
definitely.
Like, just taking yourself out of that comfort zone and taking yourself to an event. Everyone else is also shit scared to be there. So
definitely, networking is such a big thing. The amount of girls I've met from Girls Who, and they've got me so much. Like, I mean, most of the companies that come on our careers fairs are because girls from Girls Who Graduate community work there and have been like to their colleagues, please can we go to this careers fair? I follow this page and I think it'd be really good to have you there. And that's because of Girls Who Graduate community. And I wouldn't have had that connection if it wasn't for that.
How do you balance the demand? Like we were talking earlier about trying to balance Girls Who, like all your meetings and all your competing priorities. How do you balance all of the different aspects of who Bronte is?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't quite got that far yet. I haven't completed it. I'm not gonna pretend I have. I think I'm really set on when I wake up, I split my day and I'm like, right, this morning's gonna be Gals Who Travel, Gals Who Read, Gals Who Graduate, whatever it is. This afternoon, I'm gonna film all my campaigns. And then in the evening, I'll create like organic content for Gals Who Travel. Like I really am like, right, let's stop, because I'm so bad at opening an app, being like, oh yeah, I'll get this done. And then seeing something else, it's distracting me. I'm like, oh, I'll just reply to that email. And then I haven't even completed that. So I'm learning to be on one task and just think, no, I can do that once I finish this task. But I'm still in the process of learning. I think that's all part of being self-employed and like running a business. Like you just have to find your like priorities and boundaries and everything like that.
How do you set your boundaries? Because, I've been self-employed for a couple of years, but I don't know where my boundaries are.
I've noticed after lockdown that I was spending too much time on my phone, and my phone is my job.
Yeah.
And when I'm on my phone, I'm obviously working.
You're justifying being on your phone.
Yeah.
Because you're
and
working.
I'm working. But it's like 8 p.m. on a Sunday. And I'm like, you should be replying to DMs. So I'm really strict now with like, at 6 p.m. now, and I live with my boyfriend who has like an office job, who works, like he closes his laptop and that's it for the evening. I'm like that. I'm like, okay, 6 p.m. Yeah, dinner time, no more work. And I really set myself like that strict time off. And weekends, I'll try and not work as well, unless I've got something in the week that I'm going to miss. But really setting myself that time of, you need to have time off and you need to just like, put that phone down and delete the apps. And
I saw a piece of advice on, I don't know which social media it was, but it was like, go work outside of your house and not take your charger with you. And then when your device runs out of battery, that's when you're done.
Imagine if it's like 10 a.m. and your laptop's run out. You're like,
I would forget to charge it before I've left the house. So I would have made all the effort to go all that way to sit somewhere, and then it's done.
Yeah. If it's like 4 p.m, great. It's out of charge, can't work anymore. But imagine 10 a.m, you're not halfway through.
My dinosaur laptop, it probably would be. Like 10 a.m, I'm done for the day. I don't think anybody would appreciate, I'd be really angry with myself. Maybe it's not the best piece of advice, but they're like the thoughts there.
Yeah, the thoughts there. I like it. Yeah. When my phone runs out of battery, that's when I'm like, okay, stop. Yeah. I don't think my phone's ever run out of battery. I'm always like, plug it in.
I've always got like a battery pack or something.
It's like 50% and I'm like, it's running out of battery.
I'm the same though. I'm the same. And like, I always try and justify it to people being like, well, I work on my phone. Yeah. So my screen time's high because I work.
Oh, it's awful.
I really I just pretend I haven't seen the notification.
And I wish I was that person that woke up and didn't check their phone and just got up and like wrote their gratifications. But the first thing I do is reach for my phone in the morning.
But do people that say they do that actually do that?
I know. And people like say, charge your phone outside your room. And I'm like, oh.
Because my alarm clock's on my phone.
And then I buy an alarm clock and I'm like, oh.
No, just waste of money. With all the things, all the networks you've created to support women, what do you think are the issues or topics that are really crucial for people to be talking about and that aren't really being addressed?
I think one of the main things I've found is loneliness. After university, you're moving home. You lived with friends, you were surrounded by them, you could socialize all the time. And then you go back to living with your family and all your friends have either moved abroad, traveling, they live in Manchester, you live in London, and it's not as easy to see them. And it is lonely. And I think getting used to the working life and commuting to work and all of that, it's such a different lifestyle. And so many girls say it's so hard to make friends in your 20s. They find it really hard. Yeah. And so then they just feel like, well, that's it. I'm not going to make any more friends. And they are really lonely. So I have found that a lot on the closed Facebook group. Girls just saying does anybody just feel so just lost and lonely? I think another thing is they feel really lost. And I found this with close friends as well in their career path. They just don't, there isn't, they get a job after university, great, got a job in London, commuting in, family are like, wow, they're doing really well, they've got a job in London. And then it gets a year in and they're like, I don't actually want to do this.
Can relate.
Yeah, this is not actually what I want to be doing. Why am I doing this?
I think I get so many DMs from young girls or young women that are really worried about not being able to keep hold of their school friends because they're so worried about not being able to make friends as adults. And I think that's really heartbreaking because you shouldn't it's okay to outgrow people. Mm-hmm. It's it's a perfectly natural part of becoming an adult, becoming who you are. And I think you're doing yourself a disservice by clinging on to things that don't serve you anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I do think your first friendship breakup is like, it's a weird feeling. It's like, is this really happening? Like, surely, but they're my friend, they're not a boyfriend. So why am I breaking up with them? Why are we going through this like breakup, but we're friends? And I remember my first like female friendship breakup, and I was like, this is so sad. Like, this is so weird. But you do just outgrow people, and you realize who is right for you and what serves you and what doesn't.
I think people don't consider it to be like a breakup. And I think people, like, when you realize it is like a breakup, then you'll accept how you feel about it. I think they're harder.
Yeah. I look back on photos of me and like one of my friends, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's even harder to have like a friendship breakup than to have like a romantic breakup, because you're kind of just like, oh, plenty more fish in the sea.
Yeah. But it does happen a lot in your 20s because you're going through so much change.
Yeah.
There's so much going on in your life that I feel like you just, like, you get new work friends, you get new uni friends, you get all of this. And it's so hard to make time for everyone when you're trying to like navigate life.
I think as well, you'll probably start seeing it like now. Your friends are you go in different paths. Some of you get married and have children, or you be like me and you just go out all the time.
Yeah.
So like they're going to have different priorities to what you are. And then now I'm like, okay, I need to get friends that maybe don't want children or don't have children.
See, I say this all the time. So there's 4 girls from university that I lived with. It's myself and then 3 others. And they all just about to stop living together after us coming out of uni. And it's been 4 years. And I'm like, guys, we have all gone through such different paths. Like one of them's traveling, one of them's a DJ, one of them's working in an office. I'm doing this. Like, I wish we could have, in our like 3rd year of uni, been like, this is like seen our future and what we're all going to do. Because there were so many different paths, and it's so weird seeing like you said, like some friends are like talking about getting married. Some friends are like talking about moving to Australia to still like go on a gap year. And it's such a like weird time of life because you're like, am I falling behind? Am I going too fast? Like you just can't work out what path you're meant to be on and if you're on the right one.
If a university Bronte could see the Bronte now, do you think you would change the path you were on?
Not at all. They'd be like, what's going on? Honestly, I left university being like, right, time to find a job, don't know what I'm doing, probably going to live at home for a bit. And also, Girls Who Graduate didn't start as like a thing that I wanted to make a career out of. It just started as like a support network for girls, and it still is, but it's my full-time job now. So I think she'd be like, how is Girls Who grown to this? It's crazy.
I mean, I asked you what your goals are long term for Girls Who, but what are your personal goals, career-wise, long term?
I think it's just really building. It is building Girls Who. For myself, I love Instagram and I love the platform it's given me, and I loved all the creativeness with the campaigns and everything. But if Instagram died tomorrow, I'd want to have a job and a career in Girls Who. I'd love to be like still self-employed, still doing my thing, still owning my business. So I think just like educating myself on how to build Girls Who, like talking to the right people, networking, like just building myself as the founder and like learning more and more as much as I can.
You guys don't have a book yet, do you?
No, we don't have a book. That'd be fun.
I could see that being a book, or like a guide.
Yeah. Like when I first graduated, I was like, right, I had all these ideas for Girls Who Graduate. And one of them was Girls Who Graduate's survival guide to like graduating.
Yeah, I could see that.
And it's like, what do you give someone when they graduate? Like, you're like, what present do you give them? And I'd be like, well, the Girls Who Graduate survival guide.
I know people that give each other like pens, but I guess if you go to all those career fairs, you've probably got enough.
It's not got enough pens.
I think I had to start giving out bags of pasta when I went to work at a careers event.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Got rid of pasta very quickly. Yeah. Hungry students.
Yeah, that's really good actually. I do remember going to one careers fair and Domino's was there and I literally stood in a queue for like 40 minutes just to get a slice.
Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Every careers
like
fair I've ever seen.
Spin the thing and you like get a Domino's pizza. Oh, it was great.
And like they're walking around with like 4 Domino's goodie bags.
Yeah. Maybe I need to get a Domino's at the next.
I actually think maybe that's something you need to do. If they're ever listening.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Domino's can sponsor a Girls Who Graduate.
It's just like university all over at Domino's. I'd be so hungover and I'd just order a Domino's every time. It was great.
I think actually I used to go visit an ex-boyfriend at uni and I'm pretty sure the Domino's driver would just assume that you're all drunk because it's a uni house, and I would get a box of like cookies or pizza and there'd be a slice missing.
Eat it.
Yeah. Well, I hope so. I don't really know what else he's done with it. So I remember opening it and being like, why is there food missing?
No.
I mean, I never questioned it.
Or like one cookie left. You're like, sorry, order 4.
No, I always questioned whether they actually come in boxes of 4 because there'd be like 2.
No. That's so funny. To be fair, I don't blame him.
No, I mean, I would too.
It's probably raining outside. He's having to deliver your pizza. He
it wasn't
like
the peak of England. Like, it was like
so
Lancaster
funny.
or something.
No,
so
I love
it was
that.
cold and dark. I also wouldn't
so
blame
funny.
them. Like, do you know, it was probably another student delivering it as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
So they were just getting their money's worth.
That's so good.
If I always ask my guests the same final question.
Yeah.
So if you could give your younger self a piece of advice based on your personal and career journey so far, what would it be?
So this is something that I said to myself when I was so scared for my driving test, and I've used it now since then. And I was like, what if I fail? I'm going to fail my driving test. There's no point in me even doing it. I'm going to fail. And I feel like I've said that to myself so many times during like my career since university, everything. Even like university, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to fail this test. I'm going to fail my dissertation, all of this. And I always am like, switch it around to like, what if I fail, but what if I succeed? And I feel like switching that around and being like, when you have an idea, being like, oh my God, what happens if it's amazing and it turns out incredible? Then it like motivates you to do it. So I'm always like switching whenever my mindset's like, oh no, what if it doesn't do well? Or what if I fail? Then I'm like, what if it is absolutely incredible?
Failure is only a waste of time if you don't learn something from it.
Exactly.
So I know some people that started businesses and then had to close them, and then they finally got one that took off.
Yeah. Because they learned so much from those ones that failed. Yeah.
So I think that's a really good piece of advice.
What's yours? Can you give me one?
I think I always say to people, my biggest piece of advice to my younger self would just be to trust your gut.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever asked me that question before. To trust your gut, because even if you later regret the decision you made, there was a reason why you made the decision at that moment in time. And it was exactly what you wanted at that moment in time.
Definitely.
And even if you get older and you're like, regret that, or maybe shouldn't have done that, like you learned something from it, and it's all part of becoming who you are now. So
I like that.
Just
trust your gut.
Yeah, trust your gut. And if it turns out to be a mistake, well, it's what you wanted to do at the time.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, can't regret it.
Oh my God, questions getting flipped on me. I was like, oh my God, that's really on the spot. Did not expect that.
I love that though. Like when I go on a podcast and I was like, what's your best advice? I'm like, what's yours? I always like to come away like hearing someone else's advice. It's like I'm listening to your podcast. Like,
I should have prepared for my own podcast a little bit differently, shouldn't I? If you were coming on. But honestly, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've loved following Gals Who Graduate for ages. So
you.
I'm now going to have to go find all the other
get on Gals Who Date.
Yeah,
all over it.
No, I'm definitely going to get on
it's
Gals
great.
Who
There's some
Date.
great stories on there. Honestly, I love it. Like some first date stories. Like, oh, girls, like, what should I wear on my first date? I love it. I'm all over it.
I need to be part of that because all my friends are basically married.
Oh.
And like, it's just me. And when you're the only single person, it's really draining.
Yeah. Get on Gals Who Date, you'll love it.
Yeah, I'm going to be part of that. And also, I have some horrific stories. So if
my God, please.
If anyone wants to feel better about their dating experience, I am the girl to make you feel better.
Absolutely.
No, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much.